Knowing character mechanics can usually be the difference between an easy kill and an unfortunate misfire. If you're not totally aware of the full range of skills your character can implement as well as the limitations you face, you'll find yourself on the worst end of results more often than not. For example, one small detail that some people might overlook are the hitboxes on female characters. They're actually smaller than those on the males. This naturally makes sense because when you compare them to the males, they're much smaller in size. This can be used to your advantage as you'll be smaller and therefore tougher to hit. It also means that the COG are at a big advantage compared to the Swarm as they do not have any female characters. In Gears of War 4 there are 4 major ways to maneuver across the map. Walking. This is the slowest method of moving around the map, but will have you the most ready for gunfights. It does leave you extremely vulnerable to power weapons, and I would use this when you're approaching corners or cover and want to be ready for a fight. Roadie running. One of the fastest methods of moving around the map. You won't be immediately ready for a gunfight, and you can be caught off guard as you're locked into the animation. You're also very vulnerable to power weapons, and your flexibility is limited, making you an easy target. Evading is omnidirectional and very unpredictable to read, which makes it great for doing just what it says, evading shots. However, you cannot cancel the evade once it has started and leaves you completely vulnerable for the duration of the animation. Cover sliding is the fastest way to cross ground in the game and often the most unpredictable because you can cancel the slide in mid-animation. It's a great technique to make up ground and change the dynamic of a fight as well as keep you safe from enemy fire. Mastering these character mechanics and how to get the most out of them can help you massively in a fight and step your game up to new heights. A lot of Gears of War fights can be easily won by predicting enemy movements. This is no truer than when you have a sniper rifle in your hands. Many people think that watching a video and getting better at sniping will make them be able to hit unreal and ridiculous shots. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Being able to aim and hit shots is all down to you. However, there are ways to ensure you hit heads more often if you're new to sniping. This is simply done by being aware of character mechanics and predicting the enemy choices. When I snipe, I place myself in a position and look to anticipate where the enemy could be heading, rather than try to hit a ridiculous shot out of nothing. The big lesson you should take away from this video is that as crazy as this game may seem, and no matter how unpredictable it may look, every character is limited to the same movements and mechanics you are, meaning they have the same exploits as the rest of the millions that play, which ultimately means you can use the exploits to your advantage. And all it comes down to is predictable character animations and mechanics. When a player is walking, they're moving in the same direction. You simply need to aim the bottom of your reticule at shoulder height and pull the trigger when a player walks into the crosshairs. The same concept applies for roadie running. Their movement is even more predictable and the only difference is the speed they move at. Simply aim at where the player is roadie running to at about shoulder height and pull the trigger when the enemy crosses into it. The evade, despite seeming to be so unpredictable to anticipate, actually has some great moments of opportunity in which to hit a shot. However, it's going to need a bit more measurement on the side of the player. That's you, by the way. When a player performs an evade, they will roll in the direction they intended to go. Once they finish the evade, they will come to a complete standstill for a very brief period in which they are vulnerable to be hit. It's here you can hit the shot by lining up your reticule at shoulder height. The cover slide makes for the most difficult thing to hit because the characters transition in such an awkward way and change the height and speed so dramatically. My best advice if you see someone spamming wall bounces is to try and aim away from the wall as if they're standing still and aim for shoulder height. Speaking of cover, there are also some other ways in which you can get some cheap snipes on players. When locked into cover, an enemy that decides to aim out of cover always appears in the same way and follows the same motion. The measurement is hard to explain. However, if you play enough times, you'll be able to pinpoint where their head will come to rest. My advice is to aim your sniper where the player is heading and adjust it from there. You'll figure out where you need to aim in the future. You can also use this concept to hit people with their backs to you. You want to be aiming just below the hump their back and shoulders make, and you can hit a headshot right through them. For the most part, they don't have much room for maneuverability. If the cover allows it, they can move very slowly side to side. If they are planted on shoulder cover, they can transition from over the shoulder to the side fairly quickly, but the head will come to a stop in only 2 positions. That's all well and good to know, but how do you combat someone that's doing the same to you? Well, you can throw someone off in one of 2 ways. The first is baiting out an opponent to line up the shot on you. Once you've done that, you can very subtly change your position without being seen and try and hit a shot. The next is to not get into cover. Instead, peel off of it and use it as a way to peek out very slightly. It means your exact position won't be as easy to guess and will give you a higher likelihood of surviving and exchanging the kill. One other aspect of game mechanics is the implementation of stopping power. This is when bullets hitting you will start to slow you down from advancing forward, so you can't just aimlessly run at people with chainsaws. Walking and roadie running are both hindered in this way. However, if you evade or cover slide, you will negate the stopping power and plow right through. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do drop a like rating. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and make sure you follow me on Twitter for any updates you might want to hear about videos and Gears of War related things. I'll see you very soon. Peace out.